First of all, we're going to look at the specific nature to lower back pain, and then we're going to talk about a lot of different causes that could be causing that specific nature to low back pain. So part one is the specific nature, and part two we're going to start looking at causes and why your low back pain's there. So when we're talking about the specific nature of lower back pain, what we have to understand is that one, there will be crossover, and two, there will be specific, unique elements to each individual lower back pain. So in some respects there will be similarities, but also there will be differences to lower back pain. So we have to kind of have that understanding, because lower back pain isn't just a blanket term that you have lower back pain, there's one lower back pain, and then therefore there's one solution to lower back pain. So what might some differences in lower back pain look like? Certainly with regards to how it's triggered. So there are many different triggers to lower back pain, and one could be too much sitting. That may not be the cause of it, but it triggers it. So one person can sit down for a prolonged period of time and they will experience lower back pain. That same person will then get themselves up, move around, and that will relieve their pain. So there is a unique pain trigger and a unique pain reliever, let's call it. Another person could have, or could be triggered by too much walking around and too much moving around, and their pain reliever is to be sat down. So sitting down relieves their pain. So we've got two people with lower back pain, one person that gets their pain triggered or aggravated by sitting, and another person where it's relieved by sitting. So with this unique element to the lower back pain, highlights that there are two different solutions to the same lower back pain. So that's kind of what I mean by a specific nature. Now, a lot of people will want to exercise to help overcome their lower back pain, and that could be correct, but it depends on the dosage. So for each of those people, exercise A, again, could be a therapy for them, but exercise B could be a problem for them. And then if we flip that to the other person, exercise A could be a problem and exercise B could be the therapy. This certainly, as the professional, first of all, we need to have that understanding, and it's probably a good idea that the individual with lower back pain has this understanding, because when they then go and see a professional, they kind of have some authority in how they treat their lower back, because it's their lower back, they're the ones that are feeling the pain. Now, I should say there is more to this that I'm talking about. This is just a video on YouTube where I'm sharing information. So there's more to this. So the people that are starting to complain about what I'm saying, that's fine. I know it's not all the information. Until I have someone either sat in front of me or has filled out my online questionnaires and I've read through them, then I will be able to have a better judgment on what I need to say to them. So this is sort of generalized information that's trying to convey a point, if that makes sense. If there is anything that you don't understand about what I'm saying, or there is a specific nature that to your lower back pain that you want some help with understanding, then stick it down in the comment section and I'll do my best again in a YouTube comment to be able to answer that question. So what we need to do as individuals and as professionals is we need to fit a method to the pain. So that, in a sense, is the method that I use, is I try and understand the problem and then I fit a method to it. Now, what goes on in the industry, certainly a lot of what you see online is, again, it's like the opposite way round, is one person may have overcome their lower back pain by strengthening their lower back. And then therefore they go, well, strengthening is the answer to overcoming lower back pain. One, lower back pain is a generalised umbrella term which doesn't go into any nuances of the specific nature to that individual's lower back pain. So that's one part of it. And so what happens is your lower back pain has to fit the method. And if the back pain doesn't fit the method, then there's something wrong with your back. So that's a less efficient way of overcoming lower back pain. Now, with that said, there will be people out there that when they do strengthening exercises, their back pain will be overcome, let's say, and they will then tout that method as well. So it's sort of in some respects, a blind leading the blind, because they think what solved their problem will solve everyone's problem, which again, it's too generalised, and it's not digging sort of down into the specifics of the lower back pain. So we have that specific nature, and what I've generally found is a more effective way is trying to fit a method to the back pain rather than the other way around. Now, if you think that's a good idea, hit the like button. It takes a bit more time to be able to do, because you have to sit and you have to understand and you have to ask a lot of questions, and it can be thought-provoking, so the person has to then sort of think through things. It's not just, I'm in pain, just give me an exercise that will solve my problem. Because a lot of people are in a very heightened state of, I don't want to say anxiety, but that at the moment is the best word I can sort of use, because they just want their pain solved, then they're a little bit impatient in solving the problem. So we need to go through that process. Now, if you want to find out more about this process, go to the link in the description and you'll go through to my online webinar workshop page. If you put your details in, you'll get notified when I'm doing my next webinar, where I talk a bit more in depth. It's a bit more interactive. It's because it's a live event online, where I can take questions and actually answer specific things about back pain. But there is obviously a general thread that it's about. But why? So to sort of partly answer the question, if your low back is still hurting and you've tried a lot of things, all it's basically saying is you haven't found the right method yet. And one way that can help you find that method is by understanding more specifics of your lower back pain, because it will start to highlight to you what are the movements that are going to be more advantageous, what are the postures that are going to be more advantageous, what are the positions and the loads or weights to be using within those exercises that are going to be more advantageous, and also what are the ones that aren't going to be advantageous that you can start removing and adapting. And by removing and adapting, I mean initially. That doesn't mean you have to do that for the rest of your life. What it does mean is that if something is aggravating your problem, it's probably a good idea not to do it, certainly for the time being. And then over time, you can bring it all back in. So it does restrict movement to start with, but the end in mind is to have a full sort of complex of movement. A lot of people complain about that idea because they think the body is built to move. And it is. But if it's painful, then just take that one out for now, let the pain dampen down, and then start bringing that movement back in. So it's not there to restrict your movement, it's there to give you the movement back. It just means restricting for the time being, if that makes sense. So that's sort of like the first part of, is your back hurting, even if you've tried everything? It just means look a bit deeper into your lower back pain and the solution will start to unfold itself. And then you start doing that and then your back pain will overcome. And then what you then find is your specific method to your specific lower back pain. And that is basically what I do as a coach, is I try and find people's specific lower back, method to overcoming lower back pain based on their lower back pain. So within the problem is the solution. So I go looking at the problem and then sort of out comes the solution, if that makes sense. Right, so what we're going to do now is start looking at different causes of lower back pain and what we can start doing about them.